So my fuck it moment, like generally my whole career has just been a series of fuck it moments. Like for me to even be a rapper was like fuck it. Like, you know, in the beginning, like it's cool now. Like I get a lot of like respect that I've earned, which is incredible to see. But like I didn't always walk into rooms and everyone was like, you're dope. I walked in rooms, everyone was like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like it was I had to really believe that this was something that it was important to me and was meant for me and to pursue it. And it's always been just like figuring out how to lean into like, there's this book that I read where he talks, this dude is like the Tai Chi champion of the world or some shit. And he talks about when someone has more weight than you, like they can come at you with more weight, but if you lean into the weight at the right way, then you can leverage it in a way that it becomes like a strength for you. You get the advantage. So I just always try to like think about that. I feel like I'm constantly doing that. Like shit is just not going my way or how I want in life or in my career. And I just try to look for the way to try to like, you know, leverage it. And the pandemic is probably the biggest example of that. Cause like we were planning in 2020 on trying to do like 60, 70 shows and build out a whole career out of touring. And then the pandemic happened, and then I made the decision to go back completely independent and be self-funded and do the whole thing. And, you know, my business has grown like 1,500% since then. So like figuring out how to build a business model for myself and for my career where, you know, like in the midst of this horrible, horrible time and just trying to figure out, lean into the different ways that I could do that for myself. So there's so many memorable moments. I mean, I think about like the beginning, like my first headline show in New York at Webster Hall. It was in the basement of Webster Hall, which doesn't exist anymore. And we just did not know what it was going to be like. And I just remember getting out on that stage and it was enough people where it was like a show. And I was like, damn, holy shit. We had another show in New York where there was like a blizzard that hit the day before, or like, no, the day of. They shut down the trains in the whole city, but we decided to still have the show. And it was like the snow show. And 200 people still like trekked through the snow and came out. And that was like really special. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, honestly, the moment thing is weird because obviously Sway, like the first solo Sway freestyle was really a moment because of the love they gave me in that room, and then how it started to feel like the culture was really responding to what I was doing. You know, like Flex was definitely a moment. Like those type of things are moments just as you look at them and you're like, yeah, I wanted to get to this place, this platform, and now I got to it. And that's crazy. But to be honest, a lot of times I get so caught up in like the stress of it and the work behind it that you more enjoy those moments like after, you know, sometimes. And the moments that you really enjoy and that really show you that, wow, my career is moving, or my life isn't like moving how I want it to move, or things are happening, are things that you don't expect. It's just like a show that's great that you don't expect to be great, you know, or that it's like everybody knows the words and the energy in the room just feels different at a certain show. And you're like, whoa, it didn't feel like this before. And you weren't expecting it. So I try to like lately just look out for those moments more in like the everyday rather than, oh, this is supposed to be a moment because we're reaching this thing, we sold this many, whatever, you know. So I just try to look out for the moments every day now. I definitely had a fan moment, a night where I was just like, whoa, this is wild. It wasn't hard for me to hide. Like I'm good at not like fanning out or being whatever because I'm just so used to like hiding. I spent the first like 18 years and 20 years of my life like hiding crippling anxiety from the world. So it's not really hard for me to like hide a little excitement. But yeah, I went to a party and Jacob, who's here, went with me to this party this year. And it was like one of the first like things I did after like COVID, where I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out to something, you know, because I was in the crib. And my man Ari Melber from MSNBC, who I had another moment on his show, you know, where we went on there with the State of the Union song. But he invited me to this MSNBC party that he was throwing for his show. And I went to that party, and my man Statik Selektah was there, and so we were chilling, drinking. And then, you know, DJ Premier showed up, who I'd met like once or twice, but he was there, we're chilling, drinking. And then Just Blaze shows up, who's like my favorite producer of all time. And I'm like, yo, it's my favorite producer. And the homie introduced me. It was like, the homie Destroy was like, yo, Marlon, I want to talk to you. And I just was like, yo, bro, you're my favorite producer ever. And he was like, yo, I'm a fan, bro, whatever. It's like, that was a moment where I was like, nah, bro. Like, you know, I went to whatever degree he knew me and was a fan of me and whatever, but like that came out of his mouth, you know, as an introductory to me was really crazy. And then we ended up just chilling that night and going playing pool till like 4 a.m, all of us. And yeah, what was craziest about that night though is not only him being aware, but just, you know, like I've met people of a certain stature before, but that night I feel like those guys made me feel like it just felt normal. They were like, yeah, you're one of us. Like we're all hanging out. Still the young guy, but it was like not like, you know, weird. They were like, yeah, you belong here. And again, not to be weird, because it wasn't like I was just having a great night, and I did feel like I belonged there. We were just chilling. I wasn't sitting there like in awe. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to see this shit and think I was like, you know. But I don't. But at the same time, I don't know if they know, because to them it was just a regular night out, just drinking and we end up playing pool, whatever. But to me, that was some shit that I went home and was like, damn, like I'm out here a little bit. Like, wow, like that feels special. Because it's the normal things that get me. It's not like, oh, the stats say this or we did this many streams or this many whatever. It's like, nah, I was in an environment with people that I admire and I felt like a peer. You know, like that feeling is the achievement to me. The first time I met DJ Premier was after my show at SOBs. We sold out SOBs for the Funhouse Mirror album release show. And we did the after party at this spot that his man's owned, and he came through after, and Dante Ross introduced me to him, and it was like real brief, and I was just like, damn, that's crazy, especially because it was like my after party, you know. So it was just cool that he was there. And then I met him one more time when I was on tour with Brother Ali and Evidence. They were doing the show in Denver, and Black Star was on the bill in that show with DJ Premier DJing. It was like it was a crazy bill. I'm tight I didn't get to stay because we had to catch a red eye. But the wild thing of that night, I've never really like talked to Primo that much. You know, he always shows me love and like he's mad cool. I've never really talked to him that much. The wild thing of that night was we were in the dressing room, and Mos Def or Yasin Bey and Talib were in the dressing room next to us, and Premier was just like cutting up beats or playing beats, and they were like freestyling, and I could hear it through the wall. And I was like bugging out. I was like, this shit is crazy. Like that's them. They're doing that. Like it was wild.